Hello everyone. Today we will have a fascinating journey to Renaissance era. We will discuss what was happening in Europe in 15th and 16th century. The Renaissance movement, which began in Italy and France in 15th century, entered England in 16th century. So the topic of today's discussion is exploring the unknown, the age of discovery and Renaissance wonders. Let's learn what was happening in Europe in 15th and 16th century. On this image, you can see the Italian Renaissance. As I mentioned, that this movement, Renaissance, began in Italy first, and art and civic pride in Florence. Florence is one of the major city of Italy. You can see a beautiful painting from Renaissance era, and that is Italy and the city of Italy, Florence. In another image, you can see that people are curious and they take interest to study that how ancient Greek civilization and Roman civilization developed and what were people doing that time. So they study their philosophy, their architecture, right, and all ways of life. So they are keeping away gradually themselves from religion because theology was not dominant in ancient Greek and ancient Roman period. So you can see that perhaps they are looking for ancient Greek philosophers and taking inspiration from them. Another image, you can see that Renaissance musical instrument, right? That how music or musical instrument revived in 15th and 16th century in Europe. And another one of the famous pictures of Renaissance period you can see here, right? That people who were sleeping for almost thousands of years, right? And some discoveries were there during this 1000 years from 5th century till 15th century, but major, or we can say that enormously, there was no development in Europe. So now people, they take interest, right, in ancient past. Another picture image you can see that is of Renaissance, from Renaissance festival, how the festivals were being celebrated in Europe in Renaissance era. And here you can see Renaissance architectures, the buildings of Renaissance period. You can see also that in these buildings, architecture, the style of this architecture was also taken from ancient Greek and ancient Roman period. Because in Roman period, time and Greek time, the style of architecture was similarly the same. Renaissance architecture, another image you can see here. And perhaps, right, some street festivals, right, are being celebrated here. Another image of Renaissance period you can see here. And this is what I really like from this period, this Renaissance image. Now let's take a formal start now. Introduction. In the late 15th century, the world was changing, right? Why? Because they were letting away the old thoughts, old tradition, right? Old way of life. So changing fast, and brave explorer sail into uncharted water. There was voyages of discovery, right? These European explorer sailors, they went away from their homes and even they reached to America, Central America, North America, South America. And then we can see that they also made colonies there. French colony, Portuguese, English, right? So they went away from their homes and this was the age of discovery also. And scientists gazed into the heavens, right? We will discuss that how they gazed into the heavens, how they were studying the skies. And doctors dared to uncover the mystery of human body. They started to study the human body. So you can see that scientific discoveries would be taking place. You would see that there will be explorations, right? And these sailors will go away from their homes and they will discover new land. Not discover, but they will reach to the lands they have never been there, right? And there will be development in astronomy, astrology, geometry, science, technology, and from all aspects of life, development would be there. Now, this was the age of discovery where gold, glory, and God. Three things you have to remember. That glory, for the glory, they went away from their home. They sailed to different parts of the world. And for the gold, they were looking for treasures, for money, for wealth, right? And when we talk about the God, so they wanted to spread Christianity. So three things very famous, Renaissance period, that was gold, glory, and God. Inspired journey that reshaped the history of the world and the history of the Europe particular. The call of explorations, as I told, gold, glory, and God. Now, for many English explorer, three things matter. One was gold, one was glory, and one was God. Some chase whisper of hidden treasures, to have wealth, to have money, right? While others search for sea roots. That was what? That was glory. They went away from their homes and they discovered, not discovered, but they reached new lands, right? To Asia and even America, and many hope to spread Christianity to those untouched by it. While many English explorer or many English Renaissance period people, they wanted to spread Christianity among those who haven't embraced it yet. Now you can see that a market of Renaissance period, right? A marketplace where they were introducing potatoes, tomatoes, where the Europeans were unaware. And when these Europeans, they went to America, so from America, because the native people of America, they were using, or they were in habit of cooking potato, tomato, and turkey. So they brought these food from America to Europe and were introduced there. So you can see image of a market from Renaissance period. This is another image of the market of Renaissance period where people are buying things, food stuff. And this is another image of the marketplace of Renaissance period. You can see some vegetables, food. And another beautiful image of Renaissance. Now, fact overlay. Potatoes, tomatoes, and turkeys were introduced to Europe thanks to explorer, because these explorers from Europe, they went to North America, South America, Central America, and they found there that the native people were using, they were eating in their food potato, tomato, and turkey. So they brought these food from America to Europe as well. Umbrella first appeared in England during this period. So primarily the umbrella was used for shade, later on for rain also, but it did not, people did not use in Europe and in England before Renaissance period. So it was introduced in England in the Renaissance period. Heels became fashionable for both men and women in the Renaissance period. And B-roll European market, exotic foods, fashionable Renaissance clothing. As I mentioned here, you can see that people are wearing heels, right, and fashionable clothing, right? That was because of Renaissance era. Now exploring the sky is very interesting. While some explore oceans, others explore the stars. In 1609, Galilei built a telescope that magnified to make something bigger, right? the sky 20 times, and he saw the moon's surface, discovered Jupiter's moons, and realized the Milky Way was filled with stars. So that is the contribution of Galileo, right? The invention of telescope, right? And then through that telescope, which magnified things, the sky magnified 20 times, and he observed Milky Ways filled with stars as well as Jupiter's moons. So this is a huge contribution of Galileo in Renaissance period. Church versus Galileo. So Galileo, he believed that it is not the sun which revolves around the earth, but it is the earth which revolves around the sun. And the church declared him heretics, right? You are no more in Christianity, right? That what we call like kafir. So, but one discovery shook the church because it was believed, and the Christian church, Catholic church, used to tell the people for almost 1,000 years that the sun revolves around the earth, not the earth. It was the teaching of the church, not the teaching of the Bible, right? Remember, not the teaching of the Bible, but the teaching of the Catholic Church, which told the people that the sun revolves around, but he challenges. And when he challenges, so you can see what happened then, that the earth revolves around the sun. For this, he was declared as heretic, right? No more Christian. So, Galileo's models conflicted with centuries of church teaching. As I told, that the church was teaching to people that the sun revolves around the earth. And he challenged this phenomena, this concept. That's why that he was declared as heretic. Now, exploring the human body. Back on earth, another pioneer explored the human body, and that was William Harvey. William Harvey explored the human body. In 1616, revolutionized medicine. He revolutionized what? Medicine, by providing that the heart pumps blood through veins and arteries. This is an amazing development. And this is an amazing discovery that he tells the people that what the heart does. So the heart's what? The heart pumps blood through the veins and arteries. And he discovered medicine also. Right? So this is okay that he is doing what? He is discovering human body. Who? Williams Harvey. 1616. The beginning of 17th century. Now, Harvey's findings. Harvey's finding came not just from books, but the live animal study and fearless experimentation. His work paved the way for modern medicines. So he did experiment on live animal, right? And on this experiment gave a way to modern medical science. His name was Harvey's. Now, the world of firsts. What happened first? From shoes with heels to soap making in London. So for the first time, what was happening? The London markets, the London factories were manufacturing what? Shoes, right? Heels, shoes with heels, and soap, right? The Renaissance was full of surprising firsts. What was happening first? It was an age where art flourished, science challenged tradition, and the seed of modern Europe were planted. And today we can see modern Europe. This seed was planted in the Renaissance era. You can see image of high heel, right, or shoes, a man and a woman of Renaissance era. You can see they're making food. For the first time, they're using potato, tomato, and turkey. So we can conclude that whether by ship, telescope, or scalpel, these bold thinkers changed the world. not by playing it safe, but by asking questions and risking hearsay and chasing the unknown. So, lot of things which were unknown to the people are getting known to them. So this was an introductory lecture to Renaissance period. I will upload more lectures that would be focused on the Renaissance era. Thank you so much. Please do provide your valuable comment about today's lecture.